Hello, welcome to a little Sonic Lab special. I wanted to share something with you that I found out while I was sort of noodling. I've got this track here in Ableton Live that was a sort of, I was trying to demo a couple of things, and the first thing I wanted to look at was the, we've got this little sort of freeze rack that we're working on, which will be available at some point soon. And basically what it allows me to do is, in this case, kind of an ambient sort of electronic piano, and I can create these kind of frozen textures. So I'm just going to turn the send on and just kind of, so now that's in a frozen reverb. I take the send down, I can filter and sort of mod it in various ways. But what I actually wanted to do was add some beats to this, because obviously, you know, beats are beats. I'll just add a couple more textures in here while I'm at it, because what I did is I recorded a bunch of these and created this kind of build-up of frozen textures as recorded as audio. So add a couple more things. I've got this bass line here and a little sort of whoopee sort of sound. It's very nice, isn't it? Sip of tea from Sonicstate mug, always tastes better that way. So anyway, what I wanted to do was actually create some beats, and obviously using push with the drum rack. I don't know if you've seen the drum rack. Drum rack allows you to, certainly on the push interface, allows you to use this kind of pattern-based play scenario. And I wanted to use the same thing, but I didn't want to use that. I wanted to use perhaps battery, and I didn't know how I could route that and use the same interface to program the beats, and I'll show you. I found this on the Ableton Live forums as a top tip. So what I've got is my drum rack here. There is a pattern playing which isn't voiced up yet, so if I just come back here, and I'm going to go into my plugins folder, and I'm going to grab battery 4 and I'm going to drag that onto the C1 pad. So now I've got an instance here of battery with no kit instantiated. I'll load the kit that I fancied, and that was Alt Fabric kit. So now I can trigger those, play them, that set of sounds. I'll get that out of the way. But as you can see here, I've got the receive note at C1, which basically is that pad there. But what I want to do is actually voice that. So what I do is I go into the receive notes and I scroll up till I get to all notes. And now, when I hit all notes, it's now voicing all of the battery sounds. And if we look at the actual interface here, I'll just hit stop on this a second. Just activate that track. So now I've got my drum rack interface, but I can also slide up and down the octaves and access all of those sounds. So I get the same interface, just hit play on that again. I get the same interface, but I'm using a third-party plugin. Some of you may know this already because you're probably much more experienced in Ableton than I am, but I thought that was pretty nifty. And of course, we could drag other plugins into these various things for single hits or whatever, so you can build up this entire sort of chain of sounds, which is actually pretty cool. So I'm just going to switch on a couple more things. I've got this other sound, I've got the string line and a kind of low bass sound. String line is using our Wave Junction Max for Live plugin, and then that low bass filter note is using the Mono Junction, which is a free Max for Live plugin, which you can get from us. Just go and get it, it's free. The Wave Junction is 20 quid if you're interested in that sound, but anyway, that's beside the point. So what now I've got here is my little noodle built up, but it means that I can use my drum rack interface to program the beats, and it just gives me a bit more of a feel. Otherwise it would just show up as kind of a regular sort of notes thing, which isn't as much fun, and I don't get the advantages of that push interface. So that's it, I just wanted to show you that really. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was useful in some way. We'll see you next time.